So generally what I do, and you guys probably know this already if you've been in my classes before, I'm going to mute everybody. And then if you have a question, just type it in or just unmute yourself and ask your question. So, and I'll get to it as soon as I can. If it's typed in and I don't see it right away, I will. I'll look up and I'll see it. So I'm going to move my laptop over. Whoops. It didn't shut off like it normally does when I move it. You know, it's funny because I was talking to somebody today about what they use for filming or for Facebook Lives or for recording. And they all use this Mevo. And I love it because it's so clear. The image is just so clear. Now I'm hoping you guys see a clear image of me. Now it seems like when I'm watching the replay of the class, I'm just trying to balance this here. When I'm watching the replay of the class on Zoom, it's nice and clear. But the minute I upload it to YouTube, it seems like it, I don't know if they just compress it or what they do, but I'm not happy with the way it looks. It just seems like it's blurry. And so I might start using another video sharing service other than Zoom or other than YouTube. I know there's a couple other ones out there. I don't really like the quality of how they look on YouTube. I think Mevo, even though Mevo is really expensive, Mevo is just used for, I'm just plugging my battery in here. Sorry for my head, and my hair needs to be colored. I apologize. Oh, there goes my laptop. Mevo is just for Facebook Lives, I think, or for live streaming. I don't know if I can use it for this, but I watch them and I think that's really clear. I want my videos to be clear like that too. Let me see who else has joined us here. And I'm sorry for my sloppy clothes. These are my comfy clothes. Peggy's here, Peggy Blankenship. Hi, Peggy. I don't think Peggy's ever been in a class before. I don't remember ever seeing her in a class. But hello. I hope you can hear me, Peggy. If you can't hear me, we can get with you after and figure out, you know, adjust some settings in your Zoom. Maybe, and I don't know if you're able to speak to me. If you are, I can't hear you. But we can also fix that. It's just sometimes it's just a simple setting in Zoom, especially if it's your first time. That's really all it is. Zoom is super easy to use. That's why I like to use it. I'm just shutting my Facebook down here so I don't get interrupted. If you happen to pop in and, you know, in the middle of class, just introduce yourself and say I'm here, because I can't always see when somebody pops in unless I click on it at the top. Okay. Now, this is a garland class, not to be confused with a centerpiece or a swag, which the difference is, let me just get a drink. The difference is, this is a garland form that I got from Craft Outlet, and I actually cut mine in half. You're probably wondering why is it so short? The garland work forms from Craft Outlet are 9 feet. I didn't really want my garland to go all the way around the door. I just kind of wanted to go around the top, and I might even put it on my mantle. I might even put it on my fireplace. So that's why I cut it in half. And also, because the last time I did a garland class at Christmas time, it was so long I couldn't use my table. I ended up sitting on the floor doing my class, trying to work this monstrous garland, and I didn't really want to do that again. So it's not as easy for me to get up off the floor as it used to be when I was younger. But anyway, so I cut it in half. You don't have to cut yours in half. You can keep yours the full length if you want to. I don't expect you to finish the whole thing during class, but as long as you get a good start on how we're doing it, I'm just kind of opening my ties here. Now, what I was starting to tell you before, this is a garland form. There's also what we're going to be using for the spring centerpiece. You're going to be using a rail form, and that just kind of looks like a ladder. I have mine, but it's in the box still. I don't really feel like digging it out right now, but the rail form just looks like a ladder. It's 22 inches long, and it has like rungs across. It looks like a ladder, and it has ties attached. That's what you typically use when you make a centerpiece or a swag. So, but this is a garland, which I've already said that several times. And I'm going to be using a few different colors here of 10-inch mesh. I actually, I'm just trying to grab a couple of rolls here. I wasn't sure what colors I wanted to use. I was trying to match the colors in the picture, the sample picture that I showed you. And I had forgotten that I had this snowball mesh. Somebody's talking. You can't hear, Peggy? There's got to be something in your Zoom then that's preventing you from hearing. Why don't you try going out and coming back in again? That might help. I don't know if this is your first class. Is this your first live class, Peggy? I think I've only ever sent you videos before. I'm just reading what she's typing me here. She's chatting me because she can't hear. Try leaving and coming back in, Peggy. The thing of it is it's difficult for me to stop and help you troubleshoot in the middle of a class. So if you go out and come back in again and you still can't hear, what I would do is go into your settings. In Zoom, you'll have sort of like a dashboard. Go into your settings and do a sound test. There might be some reason why you can't hear because of your settings in Zoom. Usually it's something very easy like that. So let's try that. If you still can't hear when you come back, you can just stay and watch, or I'll definitely send you the video. And then I'll get with you tomorrow and we'll just do a test. I'll literally get on Zoom with you, just you and me, and we'll do a test and we'll get it figured out. So this is snowball mesh. If you've never seen it before, it's just regular metallic mesh and it has like little puffs in it. I think it's just gorgeous. I can see a close-up of the snowball mesh. Yep. That's what I'm holding. And I really didn't think I was going to be able to cut this with the wood burning tool. But I was able to, because I know there's a mesh called snow drift. And the difference between snow drift and snowball is that you could see little spaces in between these puffs. This is why this is snowball. Snow drift is like a solid line. You cannot cut through that with the wood burning tool. But I was able to cut through this, so I was happy. I was thinking I was going to have to cut it by hand, and I didn't really want to do that. My laptop keeps falling over here. I'm so sorry. I've got it balanced here. Okay. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use 3 different colors. I'm going to use that. And let's see, I'm getting more chats here. All right. And I'm going to use this pretty, it's like a lime green, pastel green. And then I have a pastel blue that I'm going to be using. I had a lavender, but I thought 3 colors would be enough for this. And we're going to do a spiral. But I'm not going to do it really tight like I did with the other spiral wreath that I did. I'm going to do them a little bit looser. You can do a spiral or you can do a ruffle. It's entirely up to you. In fact, I don't know. I think I'll do a spiral. I was kind of wondering if I want to do a spiral or if I want to do a ruffle, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and do a spiral. Okay. We're going to do 3 per tie. So just go ahead and you can see how your mesh is just sort of rolling in on itself. So just go ahead and you can make your little spiral. Now, if you want to try to hold it down with something while you make your other 2, or you can just go ahead and attach the one and then go back and attach the other 2 on top of it, or I can just even give it like one little twist like that just to hold it. So this is already starting to fall off the table here. I need a bigger table. So then I'm going to do a green. We're just going to do 3 right on top of each other. If you only have 1 color, that's fine. If you have 2, that's fine too. I'm going to try to crisscross them a little bit. So I want to be able to see all my colors. I know what I was about to say before. I had a lavender too, a really pretty lavender mesh that I was thinking about using, but I'm going to save that for my spring centerpiece. That's what I'm going to use that for. And I just rescheduled the spring centerpiece class because I didn't realize that I had run out of mesh. I thought I had enough. I was looking through my boxes and I ran out of my pastel mesh. And I can't seem to find it in the stores anymore. The Easter mesh is selling out pretty quickly. My laptop keeps falling over. I'm so sorry. I don't know why it's not sitting up as well as it normally does. All right, so there we have one little bundle of mesh. I want to see something though. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do spirals or if I want to do ruffles. I want to see how it looks with a ruffle. Maybe I'll do that instead. I apologize. Sometimes I don't really know what I'm going to be doing until I start doing it. And I'm going to start over here with the ruffle. I want to see how it looks with the ruffle instead of a spiral. Somebody's chatting me a question, but I can't look up just yet, so just bear with me for 1 second. And these are 10-inch pieces. I cut these into 10-inch pieces. Actually, the spiral kind of looks like the ruffle, so I really don't think it's going to make much difference. So if you want to scrunch it into a spiral, or if you want to roll it into a, scrunch it into a ruffle or roll it into a spiral, whatever look that you like best. Can I alternate? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Jerry. Like alternate colors? Or yeah, you could do spiral in one and ruffle in the other if that's what you mean. Absolutely. Yeah. The reason why sometimes I like spirals is because I like to tuck the cut ends in, because I don't like frays. Frays annoy me. So you can see it kind of looks a little bit different. There's our ruffles, and these are our spirals. And the ruffles are kind of sticking up a little bit more. So I think I'm going to do ruffles. I like the way that they're just a little bit fluffier. My garland keeps wanting to fall off the table, so I'm going to ruffle this instead. But whatever you want to do, it's entirely up to you. But like when I ruffle, I'll go up the middle and pinch. But then as I'm grabbing it, I sort of tuck the cut ends in underneath. So I don't want to see those. I don't want to see those cut ends. And you can actually alternate when you're adding them too. So you see how I put this snowball on the bottom? Maybe I'll go back now and I'll put the blue on the bottom. You know what I mean? So you can alternate how you're attaching them too. And if I have enough mesh, I might even go back and add another bundle. Now, there's also nothing wrong with adding another tie in between. If you get done adding all of your ruffles or your spirals to your ties that are already there, if you're looking at it and you're thinking, you know what, I don't really think that that's full enough. There's nothing wrong with adding more, like just wrapping another pipe cleaner around and adding. And my laptop's just going to keep sliding down. You can't even see it, but I can see it. There's nothing wrong with going in and adding more, and I've done that many times. So we're going in the opposite direction on this one. I started with the blue on the bottom, and I'm going to do the pink on the top. As long as you have enough pipe cleaner left to add your ribbons. All right, laptop, you need to stay. Let's put this under here, and I think that'll help make it stay. I didn't really want my laptop to be in the camera, but it's the only way it's going to stay. All right, so I'm going to bring my chair over so my garland doesn't fall on the floor. There we go. Let's see, now the next one I think I'm going to do, I'll put the pink on the bottom. A lot of times I don't really even know until I'm done how much mesh I'm going to add. I've actually had to go and cut more because it just wasn't enough. I like my stuff nice and full. I think we're going to do the green in the middle. Just kind of fluff it up with your hands when you're done adding it so it's nice and puffy. I wanted to show you quickly something too that I did. The bunnies that you see in the picture, the sample picture. So I'm just kind of like puffing them up a little bit here. I took them apart. So you're probably wondering why I did that. So they all came in like one piece. If you ordered the same ones from, it's so bright in here. If you ordered the same ones from Craft Outlet, they all came in like one piece. But I snipped them apart because I felt they'd be easier to add to the garland that way. So I just kind of took it apart. So I have these different components. I have the feet, I have the head, I have these little eggy things, and I have these little swirlies. And that way we can glue them in better instead of them being on that big stalk. And I discovered that I need a new pair of wire clippers because I was having a hard time clipping those off. I think those clippers that I have are pretty darn old. So just kind of tuck your cut ends in. After you make your spiral, just kind of roll it underneath. And I'm only giving it one twist when I add my first ruffle, so I can open it back up again and add my second one. I'm looking at what order I'm going in here. I want the pink on the top this time, so I'm still going to go with my green in the middle. I think I like the way the green looks in the middle. I'm just going to alternate the pink and the blue, and I'm going to keep the green in the middle. But I don't know what colors you have. When I first started making wreaths, I was really bad at matching ribbon and matching colors, but as you go along, it gets easier. There's actually, I posted the link for somebody earlier today. I think it was you, Lynn. Southern Charm Wreaths has an article about how to match colors in wreath making and how to choose colors, and she has a color wheel, and it's really, really helpful. I mean, when I first started, I was clueless. I had no idea how to match ribbon, and a lot of times I don't even know how a ribbon that I've selected is going to look until I put it on the wreath. And that's the truth. So we're going to start with the pink on the bottom now. I'm just going back and forth. If you look up Trendy Tree also, Trendy Tree, if you're confused about the different types of Deco Mesh, Trendy Tree has a really cool video too. Just Google different types of Deco Mesh and it'll come up. And she actually shows you all the different types of mesh that there is. She'll show you the burlap mesh, she'll show you the snowball mesh, the metallic. There's something called wide foil. And it really is very informative in helping you see all the differences between the products that are out there, because there's a lot. And I know, I think Jerry, I think you were the one that bought a lot of 21-inch mesh because you found a really good deal. 21-inch mesh is nice, but you're kind of limited to what you can do with it. You don't really want to cut it down the middle, and I was telling somebody else this today too. You can cut your mesh any length that you want, and you won't have a lot of issues with fraying. But it's when you start cutting the width and messing around with that you're going to have an issue for some reason. It just does not like to be cut down the middle, which is why I always try to stick with, let's put the blue on the bottom now. I'm trying to see what order I'm going in. That's why I always try to stick with the 10-inch, because you can do a lot more Would you normally use a long piece of mesh for ruffles, such as a 30-inch? Yeah, and actually, Jerry, I made the Easter wreath that way, the Easter ruffle wreath, if you got that video. Those were 30-inch ruffles. I think that's the longest piece of mesh I've ever seen used in a ruffle. And the reason why that is nice is because you don't have as many cuts of mesh, so you have less cuts and less fraying. And you only have to put one of those ruffles per tie because it's so big. I've never seen anything bigger than a 30-inch. Typically, when people started doing the Deco Mesh wreaths, they would cut 10-inch pieces, like these are 10-inch pieces, and they would do 2 or 3 per tie. And then someone realized, oh, it's a lot easier just to cut a longer piece of mesh. And it takes a little bit longer to ruffle it up because, you know, this is short. And it's just taken me a second to ruffle it up like this. So a lot of people have a challenge rolling up a really big piece of mesh. But it makes a beautiful wreath. It makes such a gorgeous full wreath. Now this is coming along really nice. I'm liking the way this looks. I might still go in and add some ruffles in between. I'm going to kind of stand back and look at it when I'm done. And I have enough mesh, so I may do that. You could probably even do 30-inch ruffles on this garland too. But because I wanted to alternate my colors, you really can't put more than one 30-inch piece in one tie. It's just, it's too big. It's too big of a piece of mesh. And you know what? Did I want the green? I wanted the green in the middle. I messed up there. I'm sorry. I'm chatting away. I'm thinking that doesn't look right. What did we do on the bottom here? The green was supposed to go in the middle. See what happens when I talk? I'm not paying attention. The green's going to go in the middle, and the pink's going to go on the top. Now, if you had like a really pretty Easter mesh, like a 3 or 4 colors in one roll of your 10-inch mesh, you could do 30-inch ruffles and put them all down your garland because you have the different colors going on already in that one roll. But because I have different colors for each of my 10-inch rolls, that's why I cut the shorter pieces and I'm just like alternating. And these are nice. These ties that come on here are nice because they kind of like add to the look of it because they're purple, you know, and it's an Easter color. Just trying to lift up my ruffles a little bit. You can kind of lift them up and let them push each other up so they're all facing up. That's kind of how you want your ruffles to be. You want them to be facing up and not laying flat. And I did have every intention of doing spirals, but I like the way the ruffles are standing up. I like that. This is going to go pretty quick. I think if I was to do a what we have going on here, we have pink at the bottom. I'm going to have to take that out because it's going to put me out of order here. I have to put this one next to it. I'm not even really sure where I'm going to put this yet. The last time I did the garland, I did poofs. The poofs look nice on a garland too. You need 21-inch mesh for that. I think I might go in and I might add some more ruffles in between. I'm gonna wait and see how it looks when I'm done. All right, let's see. Now we're gonna go with the blue on the bottom. Let me see who else has joined us, if anybody else has joined us here. Hey, Jenny. Can you hear me? I didn't even know you were there. I was wondering if you were here. I don't know if you can hear me or not, because I cannot hear you if you're talking. Jenny calls this the Christina show. She makes me laugh. We're going to do the green in the middle. I like these colors together. And when we do our spring centerpiece, those are definitely going to be spirals because that looks nice with the spirals. So I've done a couple of centerpieces and swags before. Yeah, because I can see a gap right there. So I'm probably going to go in and add more pipe cleaners in between each of these and add another set. And then it'll be really nice and full. And I definitely have enough mesh to do that. But right there, there's like a glaring gap that's already bothering me. We'll come back and we'll add more. So now I'm going to put the pink on the bottom. It's going to be weird not having class tomorrow. This is the first Saturday in a while that we're not going to have a class, but I'm going out to dinner to celebrate the birthday of a very old friend that I've known since I've been 16 years old. He's a family friend, and I mean, he literally knows every single member of my family. He's like a brother to me. And he moved to Massachusetts, and he's a lawyer, and he's coming back into town tomorrow, and we're going to go out and celebrate his birthday. And I never go out, so. I mean, I go out to dinner and stuff with my kids, but it's not the same. They just pick on me the whole time. But I guess that's what you're supposed to do to your parents, right? They'll get their payback when they have kids. Because they're so smart and they just know everything, and your parents are dumb. It's looking pretty so far. I really like those colors. And we're going to be putting ribbon on top of these pipe cleaners, so they're not going to be so glaringly obvious, because I wish they had this purple in a pastel. They didn't. They didn't have like a lighter color. So we can put ribbon in there and we can tuck the rest behind. Let's see, what color do I need now? I need blue. So again, I'm probably going to be done with this pretty quickly because I did cut my garland in half. You don't have to cut your garland in half. I just didn't really want a 9-foot garland. I wanted something a little bit shorter. Nope, I'm doing this wrong. That's got to go on the top. Green's in the middle. I'm a little tired. My little doggy Sammy, for some strange reason, has decided that she's been wanting to wake up. Thanks, Jerry. I just saw your note. Jerry's like, green now, not pink. This is why I don't do Facebook Lives, because there's no way I'd be able to keep up with all the questions that people type in. But she's been getting up in the middle of the night the past 3 nights now. It seems to be her time of choice is 1:30 a.m. and then 3:30. Last night she was up at 1:30, she was up at 3:30, she was up at 4, and she wanted to go to the bathroom and she wanted to get a drink, and she's blind, if you don't know this already. She's got diabetes. She was diagnosed a year ago. She went blind very quickly from cataracts, and so, you know, we have to carry her outside. She's a little doggy. We have to carry her outside, and I'm just tired, because when she gets up like that, I can't get back to sleep right away. The doctor said to try to get her melatonin to help her stay asleep at night, but I feel like she's got to go to the bathroom, you know. I don't want her to, like, sleep through it and wet the bed. I'd rather she get up and go. I'm pretty tired right now. We're almost done here, but I'm going to go in and I'm going to add more ruffles. I decided I'm going to add more in between, and that's really easy to do. You just grab another pipe cleaner and just add more. I've done that many times. Now at Christmas time, when we did the garland, I'm going to open this up a little bit. I need a little bit more pipe cleaner. You can use one of the balsam garlands that you can get at Hobby Lobby or any craft store. And instead of getting a work garland, which is what this is with the pipe cleaners, you can actually attach your mesh to the balsam garland. And it looks really, really pretty. In fact, I saw somebody make an Easter wreath the other day. I think it was Eileen David's Creations. She's got such pretty wreaths. She used a balsam base, an evergreen base, a round wreath, and she added Easter mesh to it. And you couldn't even see the green. And it was gorgeous. So I think I saw somebody made a watermelon wreath one time too, using a evergreen base. And it holds your mesh. It's just like a pipe cleaner because it's bendable. So I think these colors look nice together. I'm saving my lavender for the centerpiece. I'm going to use my lavender for the centerpiece, but I had to order more. And, you know, I don't know, I have 3 more rolls of this pink snowball mesh. So I think what I might do for my centerpiece, I'm going to have to order another blue. So I think I'm going to use my lavender. I may use the snowball mesh again because I have 3 more rolls. And I also have a white snowball mesh and probably another blue. So I'll have 4 different colors going on in that. I think it would look pretty. I just have to pick up some flowers because I want to add some spring flowers to that as well. I'm not going to add a lot to this aside from my bunnies and my ribbon. I have some eggs I might throw in. I don't know yet. Okay, so here we have 3 10-inch ruffles per tie, okay? But I'm gonna go in, like I said, let me find my pipe cleaners because I want to add more. I'm not happy with how full that is. I want it to be full. And I have more mesh, so it doesn't really matter what color you use. I already have some of these purple, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add another pipe cleaner right in between the ones that are already there. So again, I didn't know ahead of time how full this was going to be. If you want to go ahead before you make yours and add an extra pipe cleaner ahead of time, you can do that. I'm just going to add them as I go. So this might mess up my order here though. Let me think. So I'm gonna actually have two right next to each other that are on the bottom. But that's okay. I'm not gonna sweat it. But I think what I'm gonna do is, instead of going across like this, I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna try something different. So I'm gonna go the other way. To kind of give it a little bit of a different look. See how it's kind of standing up a little bit more? I'm going across and not up and down, or I'm not really going across. I'm going parallel to my garland form. I'm just going to cross it over. You always want to put your second one in the opposite direction of your first one. And I think that will come out nice. Do green on top. Yep. No, actually, I'm still doing the green in the middle, Jerry. I'm keeping the green in the middle. But you can do whatever you want. I'm probably not going to add ribbon to these ties that I'm adding in the middle. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to twist these around the back when I'm done. So I don't want them to show. So these extra ties I'm adding, I'm just twisting them around to the back. And I'll cut off that excess after. So I'm only going to be adding ribbon to the ones that are on there. And you can kind of mess with it a little bit. And so actually, because I put them in a different direction, they're all kind of showing now. I have a little blue here, I have a little green. You see that? It just looks a little, it's all kind of blending in together. Look how nice and full that is. Let's find our next gap here, which is right there. Now, if I had added these ahead of time, I could have kept my little pattern going, but I'm not going to sweat it because it still looks nice. Let me think for a minute here. Got some phrase coming out here. Hold on one second. Let me cut those. Even when you cut with the wood burning tool, you still can get some phrase. Don't let it make you crazy, but it's better to cut them instead of pulling on them. And you just kind of hide them underneath like that. Nobody sees them. Nobody knows. Again, as you're making your ruffle, I just kind of try to fold them underneath like that. I feel like I'm moving way over here and you guys can't see what I'm doing. I'm trying to stay in front of the camera here. probably could have had a couple more of those margaritas. They were really good, but I'd be asleep. No question. I need some more blue. I would be asleep. I can't drink like I used to. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to bring that pipe cleaner around to the back. So I'm not going to be adding ribbon to it, so I do not need it. Just kind of twist it around and you can cut off the excess after. These are the ones I want to add the ribbon to, so I want to make sure I don't lose those. But see how all those extra ruffles now are they're pushing each other up, and that's what you want. You don't want it to be flat. You want it to be puffy like that. That's really pretty. I like those colors. And I'm just going to keep going down. I was telling someone earlier today too that if you have a hard time finding the the rail form for the centerpiece, you can take a wire hanger. This is one I made before. Just take a wire hanger and just, it isn't easy to do, it's going to take you a little bit, and you just sort of bend it into the shape of a rectangle like that. Now this is about 12 inches long. Just curious about the sequence, Jerry says. You know, the sequence doesn't really matter. It's whatever looks good to you. You can make a swag form or a centerpiece form out of a wire hanger. You might need 2 of these because a rail form for a centerpiece is typically 22 inches long. This is about a foot. So you could actually do 2 of these and zip tie them together. You can maybe bend this part down or snip it off or whatever, because you're not really going to need that unless you maybe plan on hanging it on the wall as a swag, and that way then you can use this hanger part to hang it. And then you just take pipe cleaners and you sort of make like the ladder. So you have something to attach your mesh to, but that's an option too. And I've seen people make centerpieces and swags using a wire hanger. So when there's a will, there's a way. I'm trying to look at what I have here. I'm not going to be too concerned about the sequence right now because I sort of messed up my sequence because I'm adding more pipe cleaners. But because it's getting so full, they're sort of pushing each other up anyway, which is what you want. Again, just sort of crisscross them. So if you have one going one way, put your next one going across that way. The pink's going that way, so I've got the green going across. If you can see that, I know we have a lot of colors going on right now, but they're starting to blend in together really nice, and that's what you want. This one I'm going to go up and down with. Just sort of fluff them up. And push this around to the back again, like the last one. It's like rustling a snake. Somebody made that comment I did a class, and it was called a no-cut ruffle wreath, and that's really what it was. You can take a roll of 10-inch mesh, and you can make ruffles out of it without cutting it. And it's really neat. I think I'm going to do another class on that too, because you're going to be like, what? No cutting, and it's not a pull-through. Nope. It's entirely different. Just find your next gap. I hate the way these metallic pieces come out. Oh, that looks really pretty. I'm very happy with how full that's coming out now that I'm adding an extra set. I think I'm going to do the blue on the bottom. It can be a little frustrating when you're wedging your mesh in here because mesh does like to stick together, but just be patient. Take your time. One most important thing I can tell you is, where's my chair here? Once you add your mesh, try not to do a lot of tugging on it because that's going to cause frays. Once you attach it, you know, fluff it up a little bit and then kind of leave it alone. And you're going to be crying. Okay, moving on. You guys are all going to get a copy of the video, so if you find yourself getting bored watching me making these ruffles, you can take a break and walk away and get a drink or whatever, because you're not going to miss anything. I'm just adding ruffles until we get done, then we're going to throw a ribbon on here. I'm going to put the pink on the bottom this time because we got a lot of pink on the top right now. Just looking at it. But you're definitely, like I said, I cut my garland in half. But if you are doing the whole 9 feet, you know, 3 rolls should be enough. 3 rolls, 1 in each color, or 3 rolls in the same color, you know, if you have a pretty tricolored mesh or multicolored mesh. But if you find that you run out, because I'm adding this extra set of ruffles in the middle, which I really didn't anticipate that I was going to do. Just go buy some more. I've done that a lot. I've run out in the middle of a project. One project that really frustrated me was the snowman. I did a wall or door snowman, and it was all white mesh. And there were 3 wreath forms that attached to each other. I can't even tell you how many times I ran out of mesh doing that project. It just needed more and more and more. He was a big snowman. And it was Christmas time, so Hobby Lobby kept running out of the white because everybody seemed to have been wanting to make snowmen, I guess. So they kept running out. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love how that looks. I need a drink. Just bear with me. I love when I look at my phone, and if you ever get the group texts, and there's probably about 15 or 20 texts, and you're like, wait a second, what's happening? What did I miss? And that's actually what's happening now, that the guy that's coming, our friend that's coming tomorrow from Massachusetts, is in the middle of a group text with me and my sister and my brother, talking about tomorrow. So it's going to be fun. I'll have to jump in later and see what I missed. That happens with me and my daughters a lot too. My daughters like to do group texts. And I'll put my phone down and I'll come back and there's like 25 or 30 texts that I missed, and I don't even know where the heck I am in the conversation. I'm not a big texter. I don't really like texting that much. Just pick up the phone and call me. I'd much rather talk on the phone. I remember when I did the last garland, the thing was so huge. I couldn't even finish it in class because I did the whole 9 feet. This is a little bit more doable. And I was on the floor. And Susan's not with us tonight, but Susan, who's one of my members that has been with me since the beginning, we were dying. We were laughing so hard because I would get on the floor and I couldn't get back up again. I was like, like a 90-year-old woman. So I didn't really want to be on the floor for class again. So we made a shorter garland. We're almost toward the end here. I hate these little pieces of metallic that come out. They drive me crazy. I still have a lot left, so I think you guys are going to be okay if you do the whole 9 feet. I think you're going to be okay. with 3 rolls. I'm glad I went with the ruffles, because I think that if I had just done spirals, because when you do spirals, it's, I don't know, I think they just look better when they're on a round form as opposed to a garland or even a swag. So I'm not even sure if I'm even, I may even just do ruffles again for this, for the centerpiece. I have to see, because when you're putting the spirals on a regular wreath form, you can push them together better, and they kind of push each other up, and that's really what you need for a spiral, for it to look right. They have to be able to push each other up. When a spiral lays flat, it's not attractive. It just looks kind of weird. Same with a ruffle, actually. You want ruffles to be able to be standing up and pushed up, which is what I'm trying to do here. And that's another reason why I'm putting another set in between, so they can push against each other and be nice and fluffy like these are now. All right. I think I'm going to do blue on the bottom now. I need to figure out where I'm going to put this. I'll put it over my kitchen window. Oh, I need another pipe cleaner. I'm like, okay, I need to attach this to something. There's nothing to attach it to. You can actually, if you want to wrap a set of white lights around your garland, do it before you put your mesh on, and that would look really pretty. I had a set of white lights too. I probably could have done it. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to add your lights after you add your mesh, though. I'll be honest. You're going to want to do it before. You can do that with a wreath too. You can wrap lights around your wreath form and then add your mesh. And it really gives it a nice look because it shines through the mesh. Did somebody have a question? I thought I heard a noise. Lynn, is that you?
Yeah, hey.
What's up, dear?
White mesh or clear mesh?
What do you mean?
It looks clear from here.
What looks clear?
The mesh you're using, that white.
It's not white, it's pink. Did you see the picture that I posted today?
No, not that, the other. The other.
This?
Yeah.
That's like a light blue.
Oh,
it's so bright in here. Hold on.
Okay.
This overhead light is just so bright. Now it's going to get really dark. You can see it's like a blue.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Look how dark it is in here now.
Oh, okay.
This overhead light is really bright.
So you're just adding that last?
What I've been doing is I've been keeping the green in the middle and alternating with the pink. So putting the pink in the bottom and then the green in the middle and the blue on the top and then going the other way around.
Okay.
It doesn't matter though. You can do whatever looks good to you. I don't know what colors you have.
I've been doing mine with you, but I just hadn't really paid attention to what you're placing them.
Oh, you know, like I said, it's not a science.
Yeah.
It's whatever looks good to you.
Snowballs.
Yeah, I like the snowball mesh. It's pretty. I have a white snowball mesh too. I think I'm going to use that in the centerpiece.
Did you get that at Craft Outlet?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I need to place another order with them because I'm running low on supplies. like I said, don't tug on it too much after you're done adding it, because then you're going to just cause yourself frays. Just kind of try to get them to puff up a little bit. And you're still going to add ribbon. That's going to add some fullness too. But that's really pretty. I'm sorry that my lighting is weird. It's a pink snowball mesh. It's a light blue and a light green. So I think we're almost done here. Let me see where I need to add. Just a couple more, I think. Boy, these metallics keep coming out of this pink. Just a couple more, I think. Yep. One here, and then we're going to do one there, and then we're going to be done. We can add our ribbon. I think the problem is my doggy sleeps all day. You know, the weather's bad. It's snowy, and even though she's blind, she likes to be outside. And I think she's bored during the day. You know, what is a little blind doggy going to do? So I need more of this pink here. So she sleeps, and then she doesn't want to sleep at night, kind of like a baby, like a newborn. But you know what? We try to make her as comfortable as possible. She's actually going to be 14 years old tomorrow. Her birthday is tomorrow. She's an old girl. We just want her to be comfortable and happy while she's here. I don't really even want to think about, you know, when she's not with us anymore, but we know, you know, the time is coming. She's not a baby anymore. She's not a puppy anymore. I need to grab some more green here. What time do we have? We're doing pretty good on time here. 9:07. 9:07 for me anyway. Jerry, you're out in the West Coast, I think. So it's earlier for you. We have to put our clocks ahead this weekend, guys. Don't forget. You're going to lose an hour's sleep, but it's going to be lighter out later, which is nice. We're going to do one more set of ruffles, and then we're going to be done, because I think this is going to be enough. Again, if you're just watching this video and not making it, go ahead and add that extra tie ahead of time before you start adding all your mesh. Even though it's not that difficult to add it after, it'll be just a little bit easier to, you know, do it ahead of time. So trying to squish that extra bundle in between what you already have. I'm just trying to fluff it up a little bit here. One more. Here I am telling you guys not to tug at it, and what am I doing? I'm tugging at it. I don't like the way that one piece of blue is sticking out. Whatever. It's important that you try to get your ruffles attached in the center, because if it's not centered, it's going to look kind of wonky, but there, that looks better. You kind of need to know when to walk away too. You could sit there and you can fuss with it and fuss with it and fuss with it. And you're going to drive yourself crazy. You have to know when there's a point. You just kind of got to walk away from it. All right, one more. And I have a lot of mesh left, so I'm probably going to end up making another garland. And this was 3 rolls, 30 feet, 10 by 30 feet, 10 yards, 10 by 10 yards, or 10 by 30 feet, same thing. Get these out of the way. We don't need those anymore. One more blue. Get that out of the way. Whoops. That's what I meant by just make sure it's in the middle before you attach it so that it's even. And that's that. Tie that around to the back. Now I think what I'm going to do, before I attach my ribbon, I want to figure out where I'm going to put my bunnies. So there's our garland, or my garland. Nice and full. I'm glad I added those extra pieces in the middle. It barely fits on my table. I'm going to plug my glue gun in. So while that's heating up, I'm going to show you what I have for ribbon. I cut a bunch. Usually I do that. I buy a variety and then I just cut a bunch because I figure if I'm not going to use it for the project that I'm working on, it doesn't match or doesn't look right or whatever, I can just have it for something else. But I always cut quite a few pieces, different patterns to see how it's going to look. So I have this Easter egg one. I'm so sorry that it's the lighting in here, it's so bright. If you can see my Easter eggs. These are cut at 13 inches. I may have put 14 in the supply list, but that's okay. I cut these at 13. I have this pretty purple polka dot. These are each 1.5 inches. I don't think I cut any 2.5. Yes, I did actually. I have this in a 2.5. This is sort of like a canvas. If you can see that, look at these daisies. It is so bright in here. There we go, now you can see it. That's a 2.5. And then I have just this plain pink. It's sort of like a shiny satin. So we're going to see how these are going to look. But first, I think before I put those on, and I actually cut, those are 13 inches, and I cut a few extra of the purple and the egg one at 16 inches so I could make my little bow ties, which I like to do. But I want to put my bunny pieces on and see. Oh, I'm a little bit blurry. It's the first time we got blurry in the whole class, though. That's a first. Usually I have to adjust my camera a couple of times. All right. Now, like I said, I took my bunny pieces apart because it all came on one big stalk, and I didn't know how I was going to be able to fit that big stalk in here. So what we're just going to do, and I've got it facing toward me, but I'm going to turn it around. I'm just going to try to position one on one side and one on the other side, so they're sort of, and I'm going to kind of put his head in. I'm going to glue it in, but I just want to see how it looks, just sticking it in between the mesh, and then the feet will kind of go on the other side. And I'm going to turn it around in a minute and show you, and I'm going to glue these in. The mesh kind of holds it in place, actually, which is another reason for the fullness. Or the extra ruffles, I should say. I'm sort of just sticking it in between the holes in the mesh for now, but I'm going to glue it as well. So it kind of looks like he's, I'm going to turn that around so you can see. Once it gets glued, he'll stay a little bit better. I can turn it around so you can see it. So just sort of, if you have these same pieces, just cut it off so you can sort of glue his little head there. And then his feet, so he looks like he's sort of sitting in amongst the mesh there. Gotta play with it a little bit, but you see what I mean? Doesn't have to be perfect, just as long as his little feet are in front of him there. See that? Isn't that cute? And then you can take your other little pieces and sort of, this is another piece of it that I cut off. Just sort of like stick that in there like that. And then you have your little egg spray. And this can kind of, and that's the reason why I did. That's the reason why I took it apart. So now I can kind of put my egg spray over here. And have that sticking out like that. See what I mean? And we can do that on both sides. Can you see my little egg spray sticking out over there? Just like that. That's how that's going to end up looking. And I'm going to have two on either side. So I'll have one bunny there, and then I'll go ahead and I'll do the same thing over here. So, yeah, that's going to look cute. So this would actually look nice as a garland or as like a mantle topper too. You could use it, you know, either way. And if you have it on your mantle, put your little bunny pieces in the middle and then have the longer ends just hanging down. You see what I mean? So I'm going to actually glue that in first, and I'm going to add my ribbon because I want to make sure that he's secured before I start adding ribbon. Oh, yep, you're in Salt Lake. That's what I thought, Jerry. You're out west. Hold on one second for me. Everybody must be out tonight. We don't have too many people joining us. That's okay. So let me get his head glued in. All right, God, I hate hot glue so much. And these are really light, so they'll stay. Like he's already stuck there. He's not moving. He's not going anywhere. Maybe with a glue stick. I'm basically just kind of gluing it right to the mesh. Careful, don't burn your fingers. I'm just looking for another glue stick here, bear with me. Whoops. I'd love to get one of those glue skillets. That's my next purchase. You can just buy an electric skillet. It's not a skillet that's designed specifically for glue sticks, but you can melt your glue sticks in it And all you have to do is just dip your pieces. You don't have to worry about, you know, having it pour out of the gun and burn you. There, that looks cute. With those little feeties there. One feety is going down a little farther than the other one, so let me fix that. There we go. He's just sitting there in the mesh, being happy. I just actually put some duct tape around the end of this because it kind of fell apart when I clipped it off. Whoops. Put that over there. That looks cute. I'm still going to add some ribbon. There's really no rhyme or reason how I'm adding these. I'm just sort of like sticking them in. I'll give it a little bit of height there. That looks cute. All right, I'm going to stop right now and I'm going to add some ribbon and then I'll put the other bunny in after. But that looks really cute like that, I think. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. But let's add some ribbon. I think I'm going to start with this 2.5. And I'm going to put this. I'll just pinch it in the middle. I'm going to actually start this right under my sprays here. My egg spray. I like to do 2 ribbon tails per tie. You can do 3. It's entirely up to you, what you like, what your preference is. I like 2. And you just sort of fan them out, kind of curl them under. You want your ribbon to kind of hug your mesh. I don't like it sticking straight out. I kind of like it to curl over. Now, that's our 1 ribbon bundle. Now, what I like to do, you can put an egg in the middle. In there if you want to. This is why I cut these extra pieces like this, and you've probably seen me do this before. That's your 16-inch piece. Just fold it in half. Make sure these are overlapping because you're going to pinch that in the middle and make a little bow tie. Just like that. I think I have a little bit too much folded over. I don't want that much. You can pick any color that you want, and I'm just going to put this right in the middle of my bundle. See, now I only have like a little tiny bit of that purple showing, and I'm just going to leave that there. I'm not even going to worry about hiding it. It's just like a little piece sticking out. But isn't that cute? We have a little bow tie in the middle now of our ribbon bundle. So that's that right there. That looks pretty. I have another tie down here. I can add some ribbon to. Let me pull that out. And I'm going to alternate. So I'm going to go with this purple and this pink, these 2. You can pair 2 1.5s together. Typically, you want to do a 2.5 and a 1.5, but you know what? It's fine. This is going to be a 1.5 and a 1.5. Twist that in. I don't know where I got this pink ribbon from. I had it. Doesn't really seem to want to cooperate. If you want to cut your ribbons a little bit shorter, if you think 13 inches is too long, it's on what your preference is. Normally, when I'm making a ruffle wreath, I cut my ribbons at 14 inches, but since these pieces of mesh are only 10 inches, we really didn't need. In fact, this might even be a little bit too long. I'm just going to kind of curl it under. You can even do 12 inches, I think. So I don't like to cover up my mesh entirely with ribbon. I like to be able to see my mesh. With this pink ribbon's being stubborn. There. And I'm going to do the same thing. Make another little bow tie. I cut this ribbon in the 16-inch. You don't have to do this if you have, you know, it would even look cute if you had some pastel colored ornaments, like from Christmas time. You could even put those in the middle of your bundle here, instead of a little bow tie. I'm gonna just try to curl these under a little bit, just like that. So I like the way it looks when they're curled under. You see that? How cute that is. So that end is done. Actually, you know what? I have a spot here I can add some ribbon, so I'm gonna add a little bit more over there. Wherever there's a tie, what am I gonna do? I have to go back to this one. Now you wanna always alternate. Oh, I'm a little bit blurry. My apologies. Can I see a close-up of the snowball? Somebody just asked me a question. Who is that, Jerry? Yeah. Let me get another piece. This is the snowball. And the reason why they call it snowball is because there's little puffs that look like snowballs. And there's something called snow drift, which is a solid line of the white. That you cannot cut with the wood burning tool because I tried, but this you can. That is snowball mesh. It comes in all different colors. I don't really like this pink, but I'm going to use it. We'll move this over so you guys can see what I'm doing. So again, when you're adding your ribbon, you can see when I move to the front here, hold on one second. You kind of want to curl it around your mesh. You don't really want it to be sticking straight up. Just kind of curl it with your finger like that. You can tuck it in a little bit. That's really pretty. You can see how this end is finished here. How pretty that is. Isn't that pretty? I like that. What time do we have here? 9:30. Okay, because I want to see, I can probably put a couple more ribbon bundles in. I want to make sure that my bunny is, I'll probably put my other bunny right here. Let me think. I want to make sure it's centered. Let me measure. That's a good idea. Hold on. I want to measure. That just shows you how crazy what I am to being precise. I want to see how far this bunny is from the end. It's about 18 inches. Oh, don't fall off, bunny. So there we go. I'll place my other bunny right here. Yes, I did measure. Yes, I am crazy. Hold on a second, because I'm losing my garland. I don't want it to fall off the table. There we go. Let's measure again. You don't have to measure. I'm just crazy that way. We're going to put our other bunny right here. My poor plate, I messed it up. I used it one day for the hot glue. And now it's my hot glue plate. It'll work. He's kind of sticking up a little bit more than the other one, but you guys can see. I need my ribbon. Look at his little feet. You hear my doggie? That's what she does when she comes in from outside. That's her howl for a treat. That's what she does. Bunny feet are crooked. Oh, we'll fix that later. How can I be out of glue already? Hold on. I don't like how I can see that little stick there though. I'm gonna have to put that back in a little bit farther. There, that's better. I don't want to be able to see the stick where his foot was glued. Try to hide that a little bit. Don't mind me, I'm just looking. Just got a couple of frays here. There we have our second bunny head here. There's that one. apologies. I'm trying to keep my garland from falling off the table over here. I'm here, you guys. Just playing with my bunny feet. All right, let's put this in. I will adjust my bunny feet later. Oh, I just dropped that on the table. I'm just going to stick this in here. I love those little swirlies. Those are so cute. Okay, now I just need to put my second spray in. There. Very cute. Okay. Can't even see the whole thing. It's so big. I can't even get the whole thing on camera here. Okay. So we just got to keep adding more ribbon. I'm gonna put my glue gun now. I don't think I do that anymore. A nice drop of glue on my table here. I probably melted my table. Oh well. We're losing some people here. You guys are getting tired. Oh, I got another message here. I can't see it. Hold on a second. This is why it's important to get your speakers working, because I can't always see, or your microphone rather. Yeah, I can't see the rest of these messages. Hold on a second. It just says more. One new message. Oh, here we go. Not me. I don't know what that means. You said not me, Jerry. I'm sorry. I just saw that. I'll probably mess with that a little bit later. Now we're just going to add some more ribbon. Let me push this back over here a little bit here. We're going to go back to our, this one, and this one. Sometimes you can kind of fold it in half to get a gauge of where the middle is. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to add ribbon there because I have my swirly here, so I'll just put it right next to it. You don't have to put ribbon in every tie. Oh, I see. I see what you're saying there, Jerry. I gotcha. Sorry, I'm getting a little tired now. I think it's finally hitting me, my lack of sleep. So I just added another little bow tie there. You don't have to add your bow ties to every one, but I added one there. Let's see. I can't really put ribbon there because his feet are there. I'm just going to kind of tuck those pipe cleaners under. I'm not going to use ribbon there. I'll put some here. I think 13 inches might have even been a little bit too long, but you know what, that's okay. Just kind of curl it under. If you hide some of your mesh, don't worry about it. That's why, like I said, that's why I don't like to add a ton of ribbon. I like to be able to see my mesh. I just like some accents here and there of ribbon. With a little bow tie. I think I have another pipe cleaner here. I'm gonna add one more ribbon bundle, and then I'm gonna kind of look and see where I'm at. See if I want to add some anyplace else. Because I cut quite a bit of ribbon. But the nice thing about cutting extra ribbon, oops, it's a wrong piece, is you can have it for another project. My little legs are falling over here. I don't want them drooping down that far. I have to fix those. They're drooping. We'll just kind of push the mesh under there and it'll make them stand up a little bit. Easy peasy. All right, I'm going to put another bow tie, I think, in there. Right in there. This is really pretty. Again, if you have some little Easter eggs You can put those in. I might even still add some because I have some left from the Dollar Tree. I can't even show you this whole thing on the camera, it's so big. I need to try to get that to stand up a little bit more. I don't like the way it's laying. I'll lift up some of my mesh and hope that'll push it up a little bit. There. Now it's sticking up. So I don't know, you guys, I'm trying to get you to see this. It's pretty big. But I think that came out really nice. His feet are a little crooked over here. I'll have to fix those. I don't know what happened over here. I glued it and he's got one foot going one way and one going the other way. He's a crazy little bunny. I'll have to add a little bit more glue and help his feet. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It looks cute like that. So I think I'm going to stop for now because I'm not quite sure. I can probably add a little bit of ribbon down here, but there's nothing for me to really tie it to. That's the thing. You got to have a tie to tie it to. So I think I'm going to be done because I think that looks really nice. You know, the mesh is so colorful. I don't like to cover it with a lot of ribbon. So I'm trying to pull it down so you can see the whole thing. Even at 4.5 feet, it's still pretty long. Aw, thanks, Jerry. Said it's really cute. Like I said, if you have these same bunnies, all I did was I just snipped off the feet and the head and I took everything apart because it just was easier for me to attach all the components instead of having to try to stick that big thing that it came in. That would have been too difficult. That would have looked weird. So I think we're going to stop for now. I may play with mine a little bit and add some more ribbon. I don't know. I hope you can see this. It's so huge. I'm trying to fit it in the camera for you here. We lost quite a few people. I think everybody kind of fell asleep. Jerry and Joyce are the only ones left. We need to have a daytime class so everybody can stay awake. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, you're welcome, Jerry. Have a great night. Have any questions, just message me or post them in the group, okay? Thanks. Good night.